There's a Star Wars theory going around that, bear with me, means the prequels are actually masterpieces. Bear with me. Okay, it's called Star Wars ring theory. All right, and ring theory is an established, I would say, trope or
narrative
method.
device.
Yes, narrative device used in storytelling. Now we know about the original trilogy, and this is an amazing, magical experience that has basically not been recreated in any form since. And it kind of stands as this legendary thing that everyone looks at as this, it's so great. And then we have the prequels that started, I think, in 1999, which universally people tend to not like. At the very least, I think they would be considered okay-ish sci-fi movies if they weren't Star Wars. And at the most, they are blasphemous and bad and hurt the Star Wars canon as a whole. But what is ring theory? This comes from Mike Klimo, who says, the story is organized into a sequence of elements that progress from a beginning to a well-marked midpoint. Then the ring turns and the first sequence of elements. Then the ring turns and the first sequence of elements is repeated in reverse order until the story returns to the starting point. So basically, you shouldn't consider analogies of, A New Hope being the same as The Phantom Menace and The Empire with Attack of the Clones.
Well, that one actually still works.
Well, okay, sorry.
But the narrative structure that is
so
obvious.
So basically what it would be, instead of A, B, C, A, B, C, would be A, B, C, C, B, A.
Right.
So there's like a point in the middle, that's the end of the original trilogy, and then there's a point going down, and that ends with no!
So it's easy to compare the narrative structure of Phantom and A New Hope because the illusions
they're
are there
the
between
beginning.
Anakin and Luke
Yeah.
and what they go through. They start on a desert planet, they lose their parental figures, they have a Jedi journey quest that they go on, and then something is destroyed at the end of the movie.
What you should be doing is looking at Menace and Jedi being mirror images, Clones and Empire being mirror images, and Sith and Hope being mirror images, instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we can apply this to whatever. I mean, we have to watch the full new trilogy, I guess,
To see if
it
it's
keeps
1.5
going.
rotations?
Yeah, to see where the ring goes, because then it's like, instead of being two that meet in the middle, there's another one that's kind of on its own, and it's just like, does it go back
Very
this way?
strange
Does it like make a little obtuse? I don't know. But we can look at what we have already established as it is, and there is a small amount of evidence that may solidify this theory. Act 1. A Phantom Menace, 2 Jedi embark on a mission to rescue Queen Amidala from Theed Palace. And below on Jedi, we see 2 droids embark on a mission to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt's palace. Act 2. On the planet Tatooine, a native named Anakin Skywalker befriends the Jedi and helps them fix their ship. On the planet Endor, I skipped down to the bottom, the native Ewoks befriend the rebels and help them to the shield generator. There is a great race involving pod racers. There is a great chase involving speeder bikes. Anakin leaves his mother to face the Jedi Council and become a Jedi. Luke leaves his friends to face Darth Vader and become a Jedi. Amidala falls into Palpatine's trap and calls for a vote of no confidence. The rebels fall into Palpatine's trap and attack the Death Star. And
What?
Kinda.
Yeah, but they succeed miraculously.
I mean,
it's not much of a trap if it kills you.
I'm
and
trying
everything
to present the
Okay,
theory
sorry, yeah, go
as
ahead.
it
We're not
stands.
ready for my negativity
Yes,
yet.
we can do rebuttals. The primitive
Hold
gun
on to your
guns-
rebuts.
Hold on to your rebuts. The primitive gun guns join forces with the Naboo to defeat the evil Trade Federation in a multi-strand battle. Primitive Ewoks join forces with the rebels to defeat the evil Galactic Empire in a multi-strand battle.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I think those illusions hold up to some scrutiny. That said, if we're looking at true mirrors, there is a trap that the rebels fall into in most of the movies. And there is a race or chase sequence in most of the movies.
Yeah, I wonder if we could attach just one that doesn't seem to follow either one of these structures, ABC, ABC, or ABC, CBA.
I think we absolutely could.
Perhaps this is very arbitrary. Perhaps we can exactly do that.
I think when you have a canon as large as Star Wars is, and when you have 6 movies that are each over an hour and a half long, you could probably find all sorts of parallels and connect all sorts of dots in all sorts of different ways. I think probably George Lucas did have a more ambitious plan in mind when he went back for those trilogies, and I think you could do reading between the lines any number of ways. This is one of them. Would I use phrases like startlingly ambitious and unlike anything that's ever been attempted before in the history of cinema, and brilliant, which is a word that gets thrown a lot but is truly warranted? No, I wouldn't use any of those expressions when describing the prequels in any respect, under any number of reevaluations.
I mean, as you said earlier, like, that's not how the battle went, or that's not how the results were different. Perhaps these are just scenarios, and we can just take similar ideas because it's so easy to look at. I mean, one of the biggest complaints of episode 7 was, oh, we've seen this all before. And I guess, and multiple times we've seen this all before. It's kind of a different telling, perhaps differences in characters and situation and motivation, but similar scenarios. We keep going back to the desert. We keep finding, the remnants of some kind of empire. It's you can find patterns where you want to find patterns for the most part. I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know if George Lucas planned this. Going back to we did another video a long time ago about the idea someone had that Jar Jar was intended to be this great Sith Lord.
There are hints everywhere.
And that, it was this jettisoned idea after the movies didn't perform or get as much acclaim as they had hoped they would. My guess is this is film theorists, writing theses. It's not, I don't really believe that this was the situation. It's very fascinating to look at from this point of view. I mean, all points of entertainment critique and analysis can be very fascinating if looked at different subjective points of view. I'm not sure I buy this, to be honest.
I mean, it's partly in defense of Star Wars, because people love Star Wars, and when something is bad, they want to find out why it's bad, why it could have been good, why it's actually really good, and why you were wrong. Yeah, I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I didn't think the prequels were as good as some people on the internet think they are. In fact, I'm a big fan of a series of videos by Belated Media. What if The Phantom Menace was good? What if Attack of the Clones was good? And what if Revenge of the Sith was good? I actually like Revenge of the Sith.
I was sure you were going to say Red Letter Media, but
no, Red Letter Media is a different series of videos, and those are equally as entertaining. But the ideas, the themes, and the concepts that this guy comes up with make a much more interesting and compelling narrative that I actually think fits the universe better. So if you have an hour to kill and you want to watch these videos, I recommend them. They're very no frills, green screen kind of concept art kind of stuff. But I recommend watching them. In terms of the cyclical and parallel nature of Star Wars, it sort of lends itself to the theories and the expectations that I hate. Like all the trying to figure out who Snoke is because he must be someone that we've seen before because that's what Star Wars does.
Oh, are you not into that? Figuring out who Rey's parents are?
Whose Rey's parents are because they have to be Luke or they have to be somebody that we already know.
But then someone's memory got wiped.
Just let these movies exist. And that's one of the reasons that I don't think we should find all the excuses for the prequels. Because if we just look at them as individual movies, they don't terribly hold up. They're not super interesting or compelling. If they weren't
Star Wars movies, they would just be like so sci-fi movies.
For sure they would.
And then we attach this expectation of Star Wars to it, which is this grand, beautiful, just the pillar of most people I know's fandom, I suppose. And it's just, a lot of this could be just extreme rationalization or intellectual rationalization. I understand the cyclical nature of this series. I don't know if it was intended to be this sloping mirror point of view per se. Audience, what do you think? Are the prequels secretly brilliant masterpieces or not? Please let us know below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.